When it comes to exporting specific layers or entire artboards, Photoshop has several different options to meet different needs. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete this last artboard that I had created in the last video by dragging it down to the trash. So now I have these 3 artboards. I'll hold down the space bar in order to just recenter them. In order to export all 3 of these as JPEG files or PNG files, I can choose the File menu and then Export. I could do a quick export if those were the settings that I wanted to use, or we can choose Export As. In the Export As dialog, I can select each artboard individually, or we can select them all and give them all the same settings. In this case, I want to export them as JPEGs with a quality of 90%. I can change the image size if I want to, or add some padding with the canvas size. I can also choose to include my copyright and contact information, convert to sRGB, and embed a color profile. I'll choose Export. Photoshop will ask me where to export the files. I'll choose Open, and Photoshop will export those. If we go to Bridge, we can see here are those 3 exported JPEG files. All right, let's return to Photoshop. If I wanted to export these each as their own PSD files because I wanted to maintain the layers, then I could choose File, Export, and choose Artboards to Files. Here I have different options for the file type, including PSD as well as TIFF files. I can choose the path, give the file name a prefix if I want to, and select from additional options. In this case, I'll click Cancel. If I wanted to export these as PDF files, because maybe I'm trying to give them to someone who doesn't have the ability to open a PSD or a TIFF file, then I could choose File, Export, and then Artboards to PDF. Not only can I save them as a PDF, I can also choose whether I want a multi-page document or if I want to create a document per artboard. Again, I'll click Cancel. There's one other instance that I often find that I need to do, and that is to just export the unique individual elements on a certain artboard. To do that, I would select the layers in the Layers panel and then choose the Layer menu, choose Export As, and then I can use that same Export As dialog in order to export all of the elements. In this case, I might want to select the sign up and sign in and the logo and export them as PNG files. Then select the ocean image, exporting it as a JPEG. When I'm finished setting all of the options, I'll click Export. Photoshop asks for a location, so I'll click Open. And then if we return to Bridge and I make my thumbnails a little bit smaller, we can see all of the individual files that Photoshop exported. So there you have it, different ways to export either portions of an artboard or multiple artboards to files in Photoshop.